Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday. I'm Janelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. A 16-year-old Billings boy is now charged with deliberate homicide and assault with a weapon for causing the death of a 20-year-old woman in a car crash last month in the Billings Heights.
Prosecutors say Jacob Standing Elk was suicidal and intoxicated prior to crashing into Haley Hudson Byler's car, killing her and injuring the other young woman.
Standing Elk has been hospitalized since that crash, but on Monday of this week he appeared in adult district court. The court documents say during the early morning hours of September 23rd, Standing Elk was driving drunk and texting friends saying he didn't want to live anymore and wanted to die.
Officers say Standing Elk hit a speed of 124 miles an hour on Wicks Lane just seconds before striking Hudson Byler's car, which was stopped at a red light. Police found an empty champagne bottle in Standing Elk's car and a handwritten note describing a sex assault allegation against him.
Standing Elk's next court appearance set for the 21st of November. At that time, prosecutors will be deciding if he should be tried as a youth in the case.
Tonight, a follow-up to the suspicious package left outside the Q2 studios on Monday.
Last night, we showed you how the Billings Police Bomb Squad blew up the suspicious plastic tub and its contents. Police determined there were no dangerous items involved. It turns out the items belong to a man who lives in the downtown Billings area. This morning, he was confronted by police after showing up near the station again. The 40-year-old was cooperative and voluntarily went with police for mental health treatment.
He told police he's a Star Wars fan and the devices in the plastic box were his homemade lightsabers. He added that he was recently robbed and he never intended to disrupt or cause harm. Now, police are not identifying the man as he's not facing charges. We'd also like to express our gratitude to those who reached out to the station with words of support and encouragement.
In other news tonight, U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke finds himself now under investigation by the U.S. Justice Department. The online news site The Hill reporting that the top government watchdog that oversees the Interior Department has referred an investigation into Zinke to the Department of Justice for potential prosecution. Both CNN and the Washington Post report that the former Montana congressman is under investigation for using his office for personal gain. However, the full extent of the inquiry is unclear. In response today, Zinke says he has not been contacted by anyone at the Justice Department and calls this newest development another, quote, politically driven investigation that has no merit. The Inspector General currently, in fact, has 3 open investigations into the Secretary. They include a real estate business deal that Zinke entered into with the chairman of oilfield services company Halliburton, and another on a decision he made against approving a casino project in Connecticut after heavy lobbying from casino giant MGM. Right now, at this point, it's unclear which probe has been sent to the Justice Department.
One of the biggest issues on the November ballot is Initiative 185, which would extend Medicaid expansion in Montana and raise tobacco taxes to help pay for it.
Opponents say extending the current Medicaid program would squeeze the state budget by millions. But supporters say that Medicaid expansion has had a huge positive effect in Montana, both medically and economically.
MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison has more.
Medicaid expansion, approved in 2015, is now providing government-funded health coverage to nearly 100,000 low-income adults in the state. State money pays for part of the program, but supporters note that 90% is covered by the federal government, money they say has had a huge impact.
It's brought $500 million into the state. It has saved the state in spending $50 million. It's created 5,000 new jobs. I think it's irrefutable in terms of the bankruptcies that it has reduced. It's been a lifeline to our rural hospitals that so many people in this state rely on.
The program is set to expire next June. I-185 would make Medicaid expansion permanent and raise tobacco taxes to help pay for the state's share of the costs. 2 tobacco firms have spent $17 million to defeat I-185, and hospitals and other healthcare groups have spent nearly $8 million on the campaign to pass it. Medical professionals say Medicaid expansion is improving health and saving money in Montana, such as diagnosing hundreds of cases of diabetes early.
Almost 800 people have been diagnosed and treated for diabetes. Those are people who never would have known they had diabetes until they develop a complication from diabetes. Then they're going to end up in the emergency room, the hospital, and if they don't have insurance, well, then the hospital is going to have to end up eating that cost.
But opponents of I-185 say the program has simply become too big, too wide open and too expensive for taxpayers. They say defeating I-185 is necessary so the next legislature can trim back Medicaid expansion.
It is not the legislature's intent to simply turn our back on those 100,000 people, but it is our intent to make significant changes to the underlying policies such that we qualify the right people, that there are work requirements, that there are true asset tests.
Supporters say they think the program is doing the job it's meant to do now.
And in the long run, it's a lot better for all of us. Even if you ignore the fact that it's just the right thing to do to make sure that we have as many people with access to health care as possible.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thanks, Mike.
Voters will render their verdict on Initiative 185 1 week from tonight.
Turning to weather, Bob, tomorrow is an exciting day for trick-or-treaters. Well, really for all of us who like to eat candy.
I just like looking at the kids' costumes when I get to hand them out. Yeah.
What does the weather look like?
We got it broken down into, well, carved out in 4 different ways. Let me show you. Here's what we have here. We start at noon because I think a lot of kids start trick-or-treating at noon, especially the small ones. So it'll be about 45 degrees and partly cloudy. A little bit of a southwesterly breeze, about 10 miles per hour. Then by 3 p.m. it's going to start turning cloudy, and we'll probably get back up to 50 degrees. At 6 p.m. now another system moving in from the west might bring in some cloudy skies, slight chance for some rain showers, maybe just some light rain though, and 47 degrees. And then at 8 p.m. it'll be 43 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and also some light rain moving in then as well. After that, it looks like we're going into November and the temperatures are going to start to cool down a little bit. We'll chat more about that coming up in just a few more minutes, guys. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. A Billings man is on a mission, helping to change the lives of countless animals and people in Puerto Rico. Now, the goal is to vaccinate and spay or neuter 20,000 dogs and cats in the hurricane-ravaged territory. It will be the second time Dave Pauley has journeyed to the area since the storm struck. Now, during the first round of the Spay-a-thon for Puerto Rico, more than 5,500 animals were fixed. Pauley says when you help the animals, you also help the people.
There's a great humanitarian effort that these dogs and cats are getting the medicine and the surgeries that they need, but there's also a huge public safety issue. So there's going to be less dog bites. There's going to be less unneutered males roaming the streets and causing accidents. There's going to be less conflict between dogs and horses. So from a baseline of helping the critters to the peak of really changing the animal dynamics of the islands, is huge.
Puerto Rico's stray population already had reached crisis levels before Hurricane Maria struck, but the situation became even worse afterward because many families were forced to abandon their pets.
Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, a famed mafia leader now dead. Some believe it was murder.
Plus, we'll shed some light on the Montana-made treasure that's finding itself in the homes across the country.
And later in sports tonight, Scott hears from both the Cats and Grizz on what they need to fix right now.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.